editions of books that I have of classics which are by the same publisher with the same theme. So hi guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Sneha and I make videos related to books. Today is a very anticipated video for me. It's part one of my book collection bookshelf tour. Before we start, I just wanted to disclaim this video by saying that yes, I have accumulated a lot of books, and yes, I have not read a lot of them, especially in this video and maybe even the next, because I'm talking about my classics collection. I've collected a lot for the editions or for the authors and for various other reasons, and I still haven't gotten around to them. So please excuse that. I hope to get to them very soon. So please don't come at me and shame me more than I have already shamed myself. So yeah, so today I am talking about all the books that sit on my top shelf now. So that includes my classics collection plus some other miscellaneous genres. I have two shelves of classics. So this is the one that you usually see in my videos, and then the second shelf is also full of classics. So today I'm going to be talking about the first shelf of classics and just take you over the books that I have, the editions that I have, and whether I've read it or not, and all of that jazz. So shelf one is basically classics plus other genres which I don't really go to as often, like mythology and my Harry Potter books. But yeah, let's just start. So stack number one is the stack which won't be visible to you very soon. These are a few books that I'm going to cover up and will be part of the second layer. There are not many books in the second layer for this shelf, so let's just quickly go through them. The first one is the official dictionary of sarcasm. This was a gift that I had gotten and I don't have place to display it anymore, so it goes right to the back. Then I have Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I'm not a huge sci-fi fan, but I did enjoy this book. I have Tears of the Giraffe by Alexander McCall Smith. Then I have A Thousand Ships by Natalie Haynes. I really enjoyed this book, but it has to go to the second layer because I don't have place to show it anymore. Then I have The Great Works of Anthony Trollope. This was a Secret Santa gift, and this is the only book that I have not yet read, which is part of my second layer, mainly because I don't really see myself reaching for this anytime soon. So yeah, that's why. And then the last book is Agatha Christie, Sleeping Murder, which is Miss Marple's last case. I love these facsimile editions. I have a couple more which are at home in Hyderabad. So yeah, again, I don't have place to display this anymore, so it goes in the second layer. So let's just put these in. Okay, so moving on to stack two. This will be my magic mythology section, and the first subset of that stack is my Harry Potter collection. So I have 3 of the house editions. So this is book 1, 2, 3. This is Gryffindor, sorry, this is Ravenclaw, Gryffindor and Hufflepuff. I have 3 of these, and I have the first 3 first editions as well. So Philosopher's Stone, Chamber of Secrets and The Prisoner of Azkaban. I have the full collection of Harry Potters, but they're at home and they're in pieces and tattered, and these are the books that I have here right now. So these are part of my first stack. Then the rest of my magic mythology section, I have The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I really love this book. I have the 2 Madeline Millers, Circe and The Song of Achilles. I love these books. These are some of my favorite editions. I have The Burning God by R.F. Kuang. Love this. And I have Neil Gaiman's Norse Mythology. Oh, and I forgot. I also have Babel by R.F. Kuang. Finally, this took so long to reach in India, and I finished reading this in 2 days. And this also is an amazing book for me. So I'm going to put all of these in this stack over here like this. So yeah, let's go. Let's do that. So starting from here is all my classics, and this will be classics part 1 because the shelf is also all classics, which I'll get to maybe in another video. But talking about all the classics which will soon fill up all of this, let's just start with saying that I have a lot of collections in terms of the editions, like for example the Penguin Black editions or the vintage Red Spines and the Penguin Orange classics, like the old vintage ones. I have a few small collections like that, and I like to bunch books up and display it accordingly because I feel like it looks nice. So that's what is going to happen with this shelf as well. So starting with a tiny little stack of Penguin Black classics, I have two of them. I have Thomas Hardy, Far from the Madding Crowd, and also another Thomas Hardy, Tess of the Dubervilles. I have not read either of these. So these two will be stacked together along with Nancy Mitford, Pursuit of Love. I know that this technically doesn't go together, but this is a little larger than the other books that I have. I'll show you them, and a little larger than the other collection, so that's why this goes together. And these are going to sit right there. So yeah, then I usually like to break up the flow of the bookshelf, and also because I think it fits more books, I'm going to put like a vertical stack over here, and it's going to be a bunch of miscellaneous thrifted classics, couple of editions which are same, I would say, but most of them are like miscellaneous, and I just thought, and in my mind they go together as a stack, you know what I mean. A lot of my organization makes sense to me and not to anybody else, so please keep that in mind. By the way, I've not read any of these, okay, so please don't come for me already because I know. So the first one is Jude the Obscure by Thomas Hardy. This was part of like a Matunga thrift, and I have a vlog of that which I'll link above. It is very old, but it is in such great condition. Then I have James Joyce, The Dubliners. This was part of a Secret Santa gift. My Secret Santa last year, Vesh is her name, I don't know if she's watching, but she was so sweet that she gave me 6 books, and it just blew my mind. That was so sweet of her, and she sent like a bunch of like bookmarks and little gifts and candy and all of this, and that was above and beyond anything that I had expected. So thank you so much to Vesh. Most of her gifts that she had sent me were classics, and they're all scattered across the bookshelves. I'll call them out when I come across them. Couple of them are in this particular stack. So I have Dubliners by James Joyce, I have Elizabeth Gaskell, North and South, and I have Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. All three of these were Secret Santa gifts, and all three of these are like thrifted classics. Then I have a couple more thrifted classic. No, this one is new actually. This is Kim by Rudyard Kipling, and this is The Beautiful and the Damned by F. Scott Fitzgerald. This was again part of a thrift haul that I had made a video on, which I'll link up above if you're interested. So, and then rounding off this stack is a few Penguin Orange books. The first one is a recent acquisition. I talked about it in my previous video, which is a haul. This is 1984 by George Orwell. So it's not a vintage one. This is kind of like their ode to their original books, kind of. So but then it's very similar to the other two thrifted vintage orange books that I have. First one is A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess, and I have Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. I have not read either of these. I had tried to start reading Vladimir Nabokov's Lolita, but I've annotated a little, but I was uncomfortable so I left it midway. So anyway, those are the Penguin Orange books that I have. And another fun thing that I have is this 50 postcards by Penguin Books India. So it's just postcards of their most famous Indian books. So you have like the Bhagavad Gita, you have Meenakshi Reddy Madhavan's You Are Here, then you have Ramchandra Guha, Makers of Modern India. So a bunch of like, postcards, and they come in like this cardboard box, which is also modeled against their Penguin Orange book. So this also I stack along with it. I used to have it displayed, but I don't have the place for the the display anymore. And also I have this book. This is Ex Libris 100 plus books to read and reread by Michiko Kakutani. Again, I used to have this displayed, but I no longer have the place for that, so this also sits on top of the stack. Don't worry, I'll give you an overview of the bookshelf once I'm done speaking like this. So yeah. Alright, so moving on to the final section of the shelf, which are going to be stacked here. I have a bunch of editions in these stacks, which I am super happy to own. So let me just quickly run you through. I have two of the vintage classics edition. One is Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. I have not yet read this. I love Virginia Woolf. I read Orlando, and I also read The Waves a couple of years ago, and I really enjoyed them. And I have Charlotte Bronte, Jane Eyre. I love this book. As you can see, I've annotated it a lot, and I love Jane Eyre as a heroine. So these are the two colorful books that I have. Two more colorful books. I have Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery, my favorite book of all time, my favorite book series. And I have another one of the series, which is Anne of Avonlea by L.M. Montgomery. So these two will be stacked together. And I have The Virgin Suicides by Jeffrey Eugenides. I don't know will this classify as a classic? I'm not too sure, but it's just so colorful that I felt like it goes very well with the theme of like colorful books in this particular stack. So yeah, this is the next stack, so to say. You can't see me, right? That's the objective. Just focus on the pretty books. Let's move on. So the first one is the stack of modern classics that I own. I have, as you can see, I have a mix of thrifted ones and I have new ones. I think, but the vintage ones are these, you know, white spined ones, and the newer ones are in this lovely mint green color. So yeah, let's quickly go through them. Talking about the first three white spines, I have John le Carré, Call for the Dead. I have not yet read this, hopefully I will soon. I have E.M. Forster, A Room with a View. I've read this and I really enjoyed this by the annotation, I think you can see. And I have Alone in Berlin by Hans Fallada. This was also part of a video that I had done about a Lock the Box event that I had gone to, and I had thrifted this over there. And then I have three of the mint green ones. I've read a couple of these. I've read Cat's Cradle by Kurt Vonnegut. I really enjoyed this and it was really funny and satirical and yet thought-provoking. I read Truman Capote in Cold Blood. I really enjoyed this non-fiction. I mean, I think enjoyed is the wrong word there. It did give me food for thought. And I have Ayn Rand's The Fountainhead. This was a gift. I don't think I'll ever reach for an Ayn Rand book. I have tried to read another one. I think Atlas Shrugged multiple times over my lifetime. I just could not get through the first, I would say, like 50 pages. So I don't know if I'll ever pick this one up. So yeah, those are the Penguin Modern Classics editions that I own. That will be sitting pretty over here. Oh, I forgot. I do have another Penguin modern classic. This is Jack Kerouac, On the Road. This is a new book and I have not yet read this. So let me quickly stack this here before I talk to you about the final collection of classics that I own, which will be displayed on this shelf. So these are the vintage Red Spines books. I love these editions so much. They're so pretty and they look so nice on the bookshelf. I do have one more. I have Isabel Allende's what is it called? The House of the Spirits, but I left it in Hyderabad because I was reading it there and I didn't carry it back. So once it's back, maybe it will be displayed here. But that is the only Red Spines book that I have read. I've not read any of these and I've had these on my shelves for a bit. So please don't judge me. But let me just show you what I have. Aldous Huxley's Brave New World. This is a smaller book than the rest of the stack. I don't know why they have differing sizes in this, but I had bought this on Amazon a bit ago. Then I have two of these slim volumes. I have Gigi and the Cat by Colette. The only reason I bought this book is because Colette was born on my birth date 300 years ago, and somehow that warranted me thinking that I would want to read this book. But anyway, I did start reading Colette. I just could not get through the first book. So yeah, anyway, why am I doing this? Anyway, moving on. I also have a collection of short stories. This is What We Talk About When We Talk About Love by Raymond Carver. This was again part of a Flora Fountain book haul which I had done, which I'll link up above. If you're interested, please watch it. Then I have The Quiet American by Graham Greene. This was again part of a thrift haul from Flora Fountain. I have Kurt Vonnegut's Breakfast of Champions. This is a new book. This is not a thrifted book. I've tried to read this. It's written in a very multimedia kind of style. Like it's filled with, I don't know if you can see it, with like cartoons drawn by Kurt Vonnegut, and I just couldn't get into it, but hopefully I will soon. And then the last vintage Red Spine that I have is Middlemarch by George Eliot. This was also a thrifted book from that Flora Fountain book market, so I'll link up above. And I'm so happy that I have like a very good condition vintage Red Spine classic on my shelves, which is thrifted, and I paid a good price for it. So yeah, those are all the books that I have in my vintage Red Spines, and let me just place them here, give you a final look through of that shelf, and close the video, giving you a closer look of shelf 1, which I just talked you through about each of the books. So yeah, this is the stack 1 of Harry Potter and miscellaneous magic mythology section, which I don't really have a lot of and I don't really read a lot of, but the ones that I have I really love. Then I have the 2 Penguin black classics, both Thomas Hardy, and I have Nancy Mitford, The Pursuit of Love. And then I have a bunch of like these miscellaneous thrifted books and Secret Santa gifts. So yeah, which I had talked you through just now. Then the colorful books are here. So Jane Eyre, Dalloway, Anne of Green Gables, The Virgin Suicides. And then we talk about the Penguin Modern Classics collection that I have. And then finally the vintage Red Spines. So yeah, that's an overview of my first row in my bookshelf. And yes, those are all the books that I have for which I displayed on the first shelf of my bookshelf. Like I mentioned, this is my part 1 of my bookshelf tour, and it is part 1 of my classics plus other miscellaneous genres. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're still around, please check out my other videos. They're very similar in content and style and all of that, as in they're very basic and they're about books. But please like, share, comment, subscribe if you like this and you like me, and I'll see you very, very soon with part 2, part 3, part 4 and part 5 of my bookshelf. So yeah, see you. Bye.